guys, how's it going? Randomobsessor here with my voice dying here for some reason. um so yeah, last episode on the Mindful server here, I mentioned that I would explain why there was a bit of a hiatus, and that this time instead of me being just honestly a little burned out, there's stuff going on in my family, and I wanted to explain it to you. And if one of you is going through what the hell? Oh. If one of you is going through something similar or multiple, whatever, please feel free to reach out. So anyway, if you follow me on Twitter, you would know that I basically said I'm going to visit family, or, God, what did I say? It was something like I'm going to visit family, something's up with my mom, something along those lines. And I kept it really vague because I just didn't know. I didn't know like what news I'd get and what would happen next. So we'll be doing some mining today, by the way. Not sure if that was obvious. So anyway, so I'll give you a little backstory here. My mother, she has some ailments that she deals with. She's been dealing with it since she was born, pretty much. Since she was 3. This is something I wasn't really planning on explaining this so early on in my YouTubular career here. But I'll say it out here. So she's handicapped. She's epileptic. Those who don't know, that means she has seizures, like a lot of them. Or I guess some epileptics don't, but my mom does. Why did someone go in here? This place looks weird. So anyway, she has around, especially in her later years here, she has around like 20 or so or more a day, which that's not good for the brain. If you don't know what a seizure is, it's kind of hard to explain. A lot of people know what it is, so I'll just leave you up to the Googles. Just Google it up. I feel like someone's been in my mind. Or I mind drunk. Who knows? Joking aside here, so she's epileptic. And usually when she has some kind of illness, she is just related to it. So all this craziness started out with my grandma being like, hey, your mom is really sick right now. We think she has the flu. And when she has the flu and anything like that, she tends to have like a lot of weird stuff going on in her mind. Like she thinks she's somewhere else, things like that. And that's exactly what was happening. She thought she was I forgot. It kept switching from like in the bathroom to Michigan. Like it was weird. So my family brought her over to her regular hospital. Go this way. They brought her over to her regular hospital that she goes to that deals with like her brain stuff, because we figured it was related. Usually it is. So they brought her there, and they said, "Oh, she's fine. She's just reacting weird to a medication. Just take her home." And you have to keep in mind she was going through weird mental stuff that my grandparents couldn't really handle. They do have a care person, kind of like a nurse. Actually, I think she is a nurse. Never mind. Scratch that. But yeah, they have a nurse that helps take care of her. So that's why I was able to pretty much just go to Texas. That's where I am now. I needed to, start my own life, be an adult. Everyone agreed. I escaped. Whoop-de-flip-and-do. End of that part of the story. But anyway, so they brought her over. They said, nah, it's just her medication being weird. Suck it up, deal with it, take her home. I get into detail about what was going on. It's just, a lot of it's just weird mental stuff. Just like not knowing where you are. Things of that nature. We'll stick with that. So they were hoping to just leave her at the hospital there because they would be able to take care of her. But no, they just said, take her home. So, yeah, after that, they got her home. She was still even more totally out of it. And it was my mom's nurse who, I'll be honest, I don't like this woman. I've never been a fan of her for many reasons, but she really stepped up to the plate during all this craziness going on. But she told my grandparents, hey, you better get her to the hospital, and she did the 911 call and all that. So then they brought her to a pretty hospital, but it's a hospital that works. Oh, another one of my things. So yeah, they did bring her to a hospital, and what they found was there was some kind of, they call it a blockage in her colon. So they had to do a colonoscopy because it didn't look like number 2. And they found that it was a tumor, like a golf ball sized tumor. And at this point, that's when I'm like, holy balls, I gotta get myself home. Time to find a flight. And that's when I like frantically called my boss. This all happened while I was working. It's kind of awkward. It's like, hey, I gotta go take a call. So yeah, I told my boss what happened, and by some miracle, he made it so, he made it so that I could actually be paid while I was at home on my family emergency. I'm a contractor, so that means we don't usually get any paid time off. So this happening is kind of awesome and a miracle, all that stuff. So, the fear that the doctors had, and they kept switching between yes or no, was that this tumor was cancerous. So the first news that I got was, your mom has cancer. And that's when I was like, holy crap, I'm coming. You have no choice but to deal with me. My grandma was trying to keep me home because, it's kind of expensive for me to fly over there all the time. I don't do it often. It's like twice a year, maybe. But yeah, so where was I with that? I'm kind of, like, I've been really out of it. That's just because of all the emotions I've been going through. Right now I'm kind of calm about it because I've just had to explain it to so many people and whatever, and I'm at the point where I'm like, whatever, I could talk about it now. And that's part of the hiatus. Like, I was so moody. I was moody at work. Thankfully, my coworkers are stupid idiots, so they got me to laugh. And everybody on the server here has been really supportive. Zayd reached out to me. Swirl did too. Everybody's been super sweet. That's right there. Anyway. So, yeah, the first news that I got was, this tumor's cancerous, and then another couple days happened because they did some tests on it, and then they were like, oh, never mind, it's not cancerous anymore. So I was like, cool, that panic is over, but I'm still gonna go visit for the happiness, to make my mom happy in the hospital, because she is, bored in a hospital. So I fly over and feel fat on the flight, because I can't get a frickin' seatbelt around me anymore. That's a whole nother thing. But yeah, I fly over there, and when I get there, and I'm in the hospital with my grandma, we find out that the initial diagnosis was wrong, where it said that it was not cancerous. So it turns out that when they did so they had to do a colonoscopy on her. I forgot if I mentioned that. That's when they put a tube, I forgot what it is. It's a camera. And they took some samples of the tumor from in there. And those little samples said that was not cancer. And then they did more research in the tumor itself, because the thing was kind of big. Then they found out it was cancer. So, yeah. Anyway, when we were there, her doctor talked to me and my grandma and my mom, and explained that when they did the test, it was like it's like the outer layers was like a layer of skin. Kind of gross to describe, but you know what? If you're going through this too, I'm here to help you. But yeah, anyway, so it's like the outer layers was just like a skin like a skin to hold it there. And that's all you could really get when you're doing a colonoscopy type thing. But then they opened it up and looked at it further, and it definitely was cancer. And then there was some more scanning they did of her chest and all that, just her torso area. Turns out the cancer spread. So it's at her lungs. So I'm not 100% sure on the body parts. We were kind of really emotional and partially listening to the doctor. But I know for sure it spread. So it spread to her lungs, her liver, and a couple other organs. Either way, it's spread. And so the question was whether or not she would want to or be able to do chemo. And the issue with that is she's bedridden, first of all. She can't even get out of bed. That's why we have a nurse for her. As well as just helping my grandparents with her. Because, like, when she has a seizure, it gets pretty rough. She falls down, could potentially break her head or arm, anything. My grandparents, they don't really have the strength to do that anymore. So that's why they got a nurse who I disapprove of, but whatever. The lady earns brownie points now. I'm definitely gonna send her a Christmas gift. But yeah, so shoot, where was I going with that? My brain just pooped. I tend to do that. But yeah, in a nutshell, she decided to opt out of the chemo. That's it. There we are. Chemo. So she decided to opt out of the chemo because she's just so weak these days. Like, she wasn't really able to hold up a spoon to pull it up to her mouth to eat food when I was there. And I became kind of numb to that. Not really numb, but it's just the norm for me. It's the norm to see her like that, and it shouldn't be that way. But yeah, she just couldn't hold up a spoon to her mouth, and actually no, on the last day she was. I was happy for that. That made me happy. But she struggles. She can't even walk. So, and she can't really sit up on her own either. So because of that, and the doctor gave her a few months to maybe a year or two to live, she decided to opt out of the chemo because of that. So yeah, that's what's been going on. Right now oh, hello, creeper, sneaking up on me back there. Right now she's in a rehab facility. I'm gonna go get that creeper. She's in a rehab facility. It's not like drug addict rehab. It's different. It's like, it's for those who are really weak, just came out of surgery, that sort of thing. And it can also double up as a home for, like, mainly the elderly. Could also be for just people in her situation where they can't really take care of themselves. So, she'll be there for we're not really sure, as long as it takes for them to heal her up or get her strong. And then after that, she could decide if she wants to stay there for the rest of her days. I do plan to visit as much as possible. It's just expensive. It's expensive enough to try to get over to her. I got lucky that my grandma pitched in some money, and we magically found a flight that was kind of cheap. Not really cheap, but a little cheap. Oh, goodness. Okay. But, yeah, so, there were some people who were reaching out to me asking if there was, a GoFundMe for, helping with her medical care and stuff. Here's something I'll be a little honest to you about, because I just learned this, and this is something kind of neat to know. So, because she's handicapped, she's eligible for, Medicare? Medicaid? I don't know. One of those. I'm terrible for not knowing that. But yeah, she's eligible for that and is on that. And because she's on that and she's handicapped, she's eligible to be in the hospital and things like that for free. So as far as financials, my grandparents are A-okay. Although, I'm not gonna lie here, I really... trying not to get choked up here. So, I really want to be able to... Oh, hello. Jeez. I want to be able to visit her as much as I can on the weekends and holidays, things like that, until, the end. So, if you guys do want to contribute to something of hers, or kind of related to her, to be honest, it would be my PayPal, so I could be able to go visit her as much as I can. Do not feel obligated to help out with that. I'd rather not have to guilt trip somebody into... We are so gonna go there. I'd rather not have to... I'd feel guilty if you were just giving me money and you were broke yourself, stuff like that. I don't want to do that to you. But yeah, honestly, it would be me that would need some extra cash to help with, the cost to visit her and all that. So if you do want to contribute to that, you are freaking awesome. I'll think of some way to thank you. Maybe a stream, or I don't know, maybe I'll think of something. We could be in touch or whatever. You could give me your email. I have a business email. You can find it in the description of my video. It's usually at the bottom. I'll be sure to put it toward the top. But yeah, if you want to help out with some form of payment of something, that would be to me, to help with getting over to say hey in the final days with her. Otherwise, shoot, where was I going with that? I keep losing my train of thought, guys. This is the most awesome I've felt so far, especially talking about this. This is the maybe fifth time. Jeez. Fifth time I've tried to make this video. And yeah, I would usually start bawling and not be able to talk about anything. So I'm pretty proud of me for barely getting choked up here. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. So yeah, if you want to help out, that would be just to my PayPal. I'll think of some way to thank you. And if you're going through something similar where, I don't know, some parent of yours or some close relative, something like that, has some kind of medical condition that prevents them from, this is the harsh way of saying it, being a parent, for example. For me, it was my grandparents that raised me because, my mom can't even take care of herself. So I actually call my grandma mom. So it's kind of weird for me to say my mom this, my mom that, because I keep thinking in my mind grandma. But to a normal person like you guys, or many of you out there, I'm talking about my legit mom. So kind of weird thing to try to say. But anyway, if you are going through something similar to this situation I'm going through, or if you're if you're a child of a disabled parent, guardian, things like that, need somebody to support you there, to talk it out, please email me. I've got an email. It's business@randomobsessor.com. Yeah, I'll be happy to talk to you. I know what it's like to not really have support for something like this. I got lucky enough where it's my family. Ooh, ladies on. But yeah, if you need somebody to talk to, have a shoulder to cry on, have somebody to lean on, just email me. I'll be happy to talk to you, tell you my experience in better detail if you want, help you out in whatever way I can, things like that. So I'll go ahead and end this off here. just expect random spurts of being on a hiatus. The best thing to do is follow my Twitter. That's at Randomobsessor. I'm going to keep it vague on Twitter just because there could be other people following that don't really want to follow this information. So I'll just say, like, going to visit my mom, something like that. You guys will know what I'm talking about. But yeah, love your faces very much. Keep an eye out for the next episode on the Mindful server. I may try to get another series going, but for right now, things are a bit crazy for me, so I might just stick with Mindful. But yeah, love your faces. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. All my info in the thing below. Yeah, see you next time. Bye-bye.